If you think you missed the boat on solar rebates, you're wrong. Yes, the government reduced the battery rebate, but the media didn't tell you the rest of the story. The wholesale price of batteries plummeted at the exact same time. I'm Peter from OzEnergi. I've been installing solar for 16 years. I've run the numbers, and today I'm going to prove to you that buying a solar and battery system right now is actually cheaper than it was when the rebate was at its peak. There's a lot of noise out there right now about solar, batteries and the government rebates. I want to clear it all up because I'm seeing people make bad decisions based on bad information. And I'm also seeing people do nothing because they think they've missed their chance. Both of those things are problems, and I want to address them both today. Let's start with what happened earlier this year. In April, the Queensland government announced they were reducing the cheaper home battery rebate. The industry went absolutely crazy. Suddenly, every solar company in Queensland was running ads saying when the rebate was about to drop and you had to sign up immediately or miss out forever. And people panicked. I get it. When you think you're about to lose thousands of dollars in government support, it creates urgency. But the urgency caused a lot of people to make very bad decisions. They rushed into signing contracts with companies they hadn't properly researched. They skipped the step of getting multiple quotes. Some of them signed with high-pressure door knockers or companies running Facebook ads just to lock in the high rebate before the deadline. I saw the aftermath of that panic. Customers who'd signed contracts at inflated prices with companies that use subcontractors with systems that weren't properly designed for their needs. They got the high rebate, but they paid more than they needed for a system that wasn't right for them. That's not a win. Here's a part of the story that customers aren't aware of. After the rebate reduced significantly, the major manufacturers reduced their prices of their batteries straight away. Anyway, so if you think you've missed the boat, you haven't, because straight after the rebate reduced, all the battery manufacturers dropped their prices. So today, it's actually cheaper than it was pre-rebate reduced for a quality solar and battery system. The battery market globally has been experiencing rapid price reductions as manufacturers scale up and technology improves. The wholesale cost of batteries we installed dropped substantially in the first half of this year. I sat down and ran exact numbers on a 30 kilowatt hour system. I compared the out-of-pocket cost for a customer buying the system in April with the maximum government rebate against the cost of buying the exact same system today with the reduced rebate and the lower wholesale price of batteries. The final price to the customer is almost identical. In some cases, depending on the specific equipment, it's actually cheaper now than it was in April. If you think you've missed the window, you haven't. The market's quietened down because everyone thinks the deal's gone. That means that reputable companies have the time to actually design your system properly without the frantic rush. There's literally never been a better time to buy a solar and battery system than right now. Before I talk about politics around renewables, I want to make sure you've got the right information for your own home. Don't rely on what your neighbour paid 6 months ago, and don't rely on a Facebook ad telling you the rebates are gone. The only way to know exactly what a system will cost you today is to get a proper custom quote based on today's wholesale pricing and the current rebate available for your specific property. At OzEnergi, we run those numbers honestly. We don't inflate the savings estimates and we don't hide cost in finance agreements. If you want to know what the real cost without the sales spin, give us a call. We've been doing this for 16 years and we'll give it straight to you. Now, I want to touch on something that's causing a lot of confusion, the politics. You see the politics on television going on about the green dream and how renewables are a massive waste of money. A lot of people are anti-government right now, and honestly, who could blame them? The cost of living's out of control and people are angry. But here's what I want you to understand. You've got two separate political arguments about massive commercial scale grid projects from what's actually happening on the roof of your own house. These are two completely different conversations. I don't pretend to fully understand all the details of baseload power at a national level. That's a complex debate, and there's a legitimate argument on both sides. But I do understand what the cheaper home battery rebate is actually doing for the grid, and I want to explain it simply. The grid's got to have baseload power to supply electricity to everyone. Whether that baseload power comes from coal, gas, nuclear, renewables or a combination of everything, the generators have to be sized to handle the peak demand. The peak demand is the highest point of electricity usage, the entire network, which typically happens in the late afternoon and early evening when everyone gets home from work and turns everything on. What these home battery systems are designed to do is take those peaks out. When thousands of homes are running off their own batteries during the evening peak, instead of pulling from the grid, the overall demand at that peak moment drops significantly. That means whatever the baseload power source is, it doesn't have to be as large or work as hard to cover the spike. The grid becomes more stable and more efficient. So if you're angry at Albanese or Bowen or you think renewable energy projects are a waste of money, I understand that. But don't let that stop you from getting a solar and battery system. The cheaper home battery system scheme's a great initiative, not just because I'm in the industry, because it generally helps stabilise the grid while saving the consumer thousands of dollars. Don't cut off your nose despite your face. Let's bring it back what actually matters for your household. Regardless of your politics, a properly designed solar and battery system is going to save you thousands of dollars a year. It's going to protect you from future electricity price increases, and it's going to give you a level of energy independence that you simply can't get by staying connected to the grid alone. The daily supply charge from the energy retailers is going up. The cost per kilowatt hour is going up. These aren't trends that are going to reverse. The energy companies aren't going to start charging you less, so every year you wait is another year you're paying more than you need to. Is the price going to get even better in the future? Maybe. Who knows? But every month you wait is another month you're paying the energy retailers instead of paying your own asset. The technology's here, the wholesale prices have dropped, and the rebates, while reduced, are still available. The combination of these three things makes right now a genuinely excellent time to buy. And here's the thing about waiting for the perfect time. In my 16 years in this industry, I've never had a customer come back to me and say, I wish I'd waited longer to get solar. Every single customer who installed a properly designed system has been happy they did it when they did. The ones who waited are the ones who are still paying massive power bills. So the truth about the solar rebates right now, you haven't missed out. The drop in wholesale battery prices has effectively cancelled out the reduction in the government rebate. The systems are cheaper now than they were during the panic in April. And regardless of your politics, a home battery is still one of the best ways to protect yourself from rising power bills while actually helping the grid at the same time. Don't let the noise stop you from making a smart financial decision for your family. If you want to see the real numbers for your own home designed properly by a family business that does its own installations, call OzEnergi. The link in the description below.